Let's bring in South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham. Is here to talk to Sandra and me. And Lindsey, I wanted to start you out, Senator, first of all, by asking you about this proclamation by Putin about cleansing purification. That puts him in the same league as Joseph Stalin. And this is a message to his countrymen to say, remember the terror and the great purge of the 1930s. Are we going down that road again?
Maybe so. I don't know. But that's the speech of a loser. The guy is losing. The Ukrainians are amazing to me. They're holding their own and then some. He wouldn't be threatening his own people if they were with him. He wouldn't be asking for Syrian fighters to come in and supplement his army if they were winning. I think you see large amounts of casualties among the Russian military. You see low morale. A speech was given by Zelensky yesterday that made all of us want to join his cause. President Biden called Putin a war criminal, which is a big deal. And what did Putin say? He threatened his own people. So how does this end? I think you're in for a reverse Stalingrad. I think Kyiv will fight to the last person. I think the 35 million plus Ukrainians are going to fight to the last man. I think the 90,000 Russian soldiers have an impossible task on their hands. And I think Ukraine is going to bleed Putin dry. And I sense that things are breaking in Russia. So to the Ukrainian people, stay in this fight. We will give you the weapons you need. You need the MiGs. It's unconscionable we're not giving them the MiGs. But the statement that Putin made yesterday is a statement of a loser, a desperate man.
Senator Graham, you're making the point, though, that we still need to aid the Ukrainians in this fight, and we need to do so more than what was announced on behalf of the White House yesterday. You want to send in these fighter jets and the air defense systems. You're making the case that we can certainly do that, although some, Chris Murphy, Democrat, Connecticut, says these are Polish planes. Poland can send them in. We have nothing to do with that. Adam Smith says these MiGs won't last a second in Ukrainian airspace right now. They're saying these are outdated. Why do you believe that this is a priority to get those MiG jets to the Ukrainian pilots?
Well, I trust President Zelensky to know what he needs more than Adam Smith or Chris Murphy. He's asked for the jets, and Putin's threatened us with escalation in theory. I think the reason Putin doesn't want the jets is the Ukrainians can go on the offense. I'm not for a NATO no-fly zone yet. I'm not for American ground forces, but I am for increased capability in the hands of the Ukrainian military fighting like tigers, and we cannot let Putin determine what we do. So to my Democratic colleagues, I trust Zelensky more than I trust you. Give them the damn MiGs. We're the problem, not the Poles. Let's go all in here.
Yeah, he seems to be the one who would seem to know what military equipment he needs. Now, you mentioned a no-fly zone, and you say that you're not for a no-fly zone as long as conventional weapons are used.
Right.
But Russian military doctrine that was signed by Putin in the early 2000s says you can escalate to de-escalate, and that is if it looks like you're going to lose a conventional war and lose your territory, you can go to tactical nuclear weapons, low-yield nuclear weapons. If he pulls that trigger, what should the response be?
Well, I think we're maybe heading that direction. We're not going to have a nuclear exchange between the United States and Russia because the Russian general staff won't let that happen. That would be suicide for the Russian people. And if you're looking for scum and traitors in Russia, Putin, look in the mirror. You're the scum, you're the traitor, you're the guy that should be facing criminal charges or be taken out. But when it comes to tactical nuclear weapons, I can actually envision for the first time, because he's so desperate, the use of a tactical nuke to scare everybody off and try to get a settlement favorable to him. And here's what I would say. If he uses a tactical nuclear weapon inside Ukraine, I would consider that an Article 5 breach, because the radiation will flow outside the Ukraine and it will pollute our neighboring NATO allies. So a nuclear explosion in the Ukraine would affect the entire region, NATO members, and I would consider that an Article 5 event, an attack on NATO itself. If he uses chemical weapons, I would consider that a reason to change the no-fly status. The one thing I can tell you about Putin, when he hears that you're afraid of him, that you don't want to make him mad, you don't want to anger him, that's like a shot of steroids. What he fears is not a great speech by Zelensky, which it was a great speech, but the javelins, the stingers, and the MiGs. When you punch him in the nose is the best way to deal with this guy. And I am telling you right now, that speech yesterday, along with the call for Syrian fighters to supplement his army, tells me that things are not going well for him and that Ukraine can win. The Biden administration needs to embrace the thought that the Ukraine can win. Their whole strategy has been around Putin winning quickly. Well, he's not going to win quickly. I'm all in for the Ukraine.
Senator Graham, if Russia and Vladimir Putin are indeed losing this fight, what does the future hold? What is Russia? What is Vladimir Putin? What's his role on the world stage after that would happen, as you're predicting?
Well, number one, when the President of the United States calls you a war criminal, which I think he is, that has to change the relationship. I don't consider him a legitimate leader of Russia. Russia is suffering under Putin maybe as much as any other time in history. So when I say he has to go because he's a war criminal. He's a murderer. He's a thief. He's a disruptive influence. He wants to recreate the Soviet Union. The way he goes is when the Russian people turn on him. The purge I'm looking for is for the Russian people to rise up and take him out. And to any American politician that's afraid to say Putin should go, then that's sad to me. Because aren't we the people who believe in the rule of law and world order? If Putin wins in Ukraine, then China's going to take Taiwan and Iran's going to get a nuclear weapon. So, yes, I want to give my voice to the idea that he's not a legitimate leader. He's a war criminal. He needs to go, and I'm urging the Russian people to bring that about to end this reign of terror. That's what I believe. I believe it with all my heart. If the Ukrainians can fight to the last man, at least I can urge the person killing them to go.
Senator, thank you very much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Always good to see you, Senator. Thanks so much. Appreciate it.